There are some nice picture has been given. Then about the Nirupeksha Sadhaka, Bhaktivinoda Thakur is giving in more detail that how the deceitful nature of the Nirupeksha Sadhaka can be exhibited in 8 ways. 1. Thinking of oneself as an advanced Vaishnava. 2. Thinking of oneself as superior to others simply by wearing the dress of a renounced person. 3. Collecting material wealth for food and clothing more than required. 4. Improperly associating with the opposite sex in the name of spiritual practices. 5. Staying with materialistic people with the expectation of receiving wealth after then visiting Krishna's temple. 6. Being inwardly anxious and worried about collecting more wealth while making a pretense of performing devotional service or chanting. 7. Being more concerned with external dress and rules and regulation than devotion for Krishna. And 8. Overlooking or neglecting the main purpose of spiritual life, developing love for Krishna. So various cheating propensity, kapat, such as bad argument, kutarka, false philosophical conclusions, kusiddhanta, and maintaining impediment to devotional service, anarthas, arise from the deceitful nature. All of these propensities are very detrimental to true Krishna consciousness, and I compare to the urine of a donkey. Many practitioners may think they are getting cleansed by bathing in an unholy urine of the donkey of deceit. Factually, they are just burning and destroying their own life. So, very strong but very detailed information has been given. So we should dwell and remain vigilant to remain free from those deceitful nature. Only we will be able to do is to pray to those personalities who are free from those, and by their mercy we will be able to maintain. Otherwise, on our own strength, it's very difficult. So we will be reading Srila Prabhupada Lilamrita. We are reading from volume number 3, New Jagannath Puri, the chapter we are reading. I will read a couple of paragraphs because we read on Friday. So some days has gone, so it's difficult to remember. So Prabhupada liked to write different devotees about why they get cheated with that purchase in New York. And he wrote each devotee differently. Unlike the boys and their lawyers, Prabhupada thought that the legal case against the businessman would be a strong one. I'm not a lawyer, but this is common sense affair. Mr. Hall has taken the money and he must finance to purchase the house, means another $20,000. If he has no money to finance, then it is a cheating case, clear and simple. This is Prabhupada right to Satsang. The culprits, he said, should be brought to criminal court. Their conspiracy and fraud were obvious and could be proven. From the telephonic conversation of Brahmananda It appeared to be an organized cheating case, and you have to face with courage without excusing any one of them. We are not revengeful, but we cannot lose Krishna's money for nothing. So that's where we left. So we will continue. The boys had already blundered so much that Prabhupada doubted whether they could tackle the cheaters. But he said they had to try. Quote, let us have the house or return back the money. In default, there is clear case of cheating. Now you can do as you like, unquote. Srila Prabhupada wrote the boys' lawyer, relating the history of the case. He also wrote a letter to the financier, the owner, and Mr. Price, threatening to expose everything, including what he alone had seen, that the lawyers involved were also implicated. Brahmananda could barely understand what was going on, but it appeared that Swamiji was going to get resolved. The boys were fools, certainly, but the businessmen were certainly cheaters, and Swamiji claimed that he could prove it in court. So while admonishing his blundering disciples and going fiercely after the cheater, Srila Prabhupada still remained the ultimate shelter for his foolish boys. In a letter to the 6 trustees of his New York branch, he shed transcendental light into their gloomy minds as follows. Forget the chapter. Take it for granted that Krishna has taken away this money from you for your deliberate foolishness. In future, be very cautious and abide by the order of Krishna. If you abide by the order of Krishna, he can give you things that you may need. Be cheerful and chant Hare Krishna without any lamentation. As I have told you several times, that my Guru Maharaj used to say, that this world is not fit place for a gentleman. His version is corroborated by the following verse of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yasya asti bhagavati akinchana bhakti sarvai gunais tatra samasta sura haro abhaktyasya uto mahat guna manoraten ashato dhavato bhahi. A person who is not in Krishna consciousness has no good qualification. However, so-called gentleman, one may be or accidentally educated, and he may be is hovering over the mental plane, and therefore he must commit nuisance, being influenced by the external energy. A person who has, however, unflinching faith in the Supreme Personality Godhead and has all the good qualification of the demigods. In other words, you should not keep your trust on so-called gentlemen of the world. However, nicely dressed he may be. In the matter of discharging our mission of Krishna consciousness, we have to meet so many so-called gentlemen, but we must be very cautious for dealing with them as we are cautious in dealing with serpents. Now, more than ever, the boys in New York wanted Swamiji to come back. Although most of the talk in the temple was still about real estate, they were holding regular kirtan and lecture programs. And 2 new boys had joined, Jadurani had finished some new painting of Lord Vishnu, which now hung in the temple, and she was waiting anxiously for Swamiji to come and see them. Some devotees had made a new speaker seat in the temple for Swamiji. They knew they were fools, but they asked him, please to come back, and Prabhupada agreed. He set April 9 as the date for his return to New York, but meanwhile, he still had much to do in San Francisco. So one day, Malti hurried into Srila Prabhupada's apartment, took a small item out of her shopping bag, and placed it on Prabhupada's desk for his inspection. Quote, what is this, Swamiji? Unquote. Srila Prabhupada looked down and beheld a 3-inch wooden doll with a flat head, a black smiling face, and a big round eyes. The figure had stubby, forward jutting arms and a simple green and yellow torso with no visible feet. Srila Prabhupada immediately folded his palms and bowed his head, offering little figure a respects. Quote, you have bought Lord Jagannath, the Lord of the universe, unquote, he said, smiling and bright-eyed. He is Krishna. Thank you very much, unquote. Srila Prabhupada beamed with pleasure, while Malti and others sat amazed at the good fortune of seeing Swamiji so pleased. Prabhupada explained that this was Lord Jagannath, a deity of Krishna worship all over India for thousands of years. Jagannath, he said, is worshipped along with the 2 other deities, his brother Balram and his sister Subhadra. Excitedly, Malti confirmed that there were other similar figures at Cost Plus, the implored store where she had found the little Jagannath. And Srila Prabhupada said she should go back and buy them. Malti told her husband Shyam Sundar, and together they hurried back and bought the 2 other dolls in the set. Srila Prabhupada placed the black-faced, smiling Jagannath on the right. In the center, he placed the smallest figure, Subhadra, and who had a red, smiling mouth and a rectangular black and yellow torso. The third figure, Balram, with a white round head, red trim eyes, and a happy red smile, had the forward jutting arms like Jagannath and a blue and yellow base. Prabhupada placed him next to Subhadra. As Prabhupada looked at them together on his desk, he asked if anyone knew how to carve. Shyam Sundar said he was a wood sculptor, and Prabhupada asked him to carve 3-foot-high copies of the little Jagannath, Balram, and Subhadra. And we are so lucky in Houston, we have Papa Hari Chaitanya Prabhu. He carved so big, maybe 4 feet or maybe taller than that, Lord Jagannath, Baldev and Subhadra, from one of the big tree that was cut down. So he's really nice, very sincere sadhaka. More than 2,000 years ago, Srila Prabhupada told them, there was a king named Indradumna, a devotee of Lord Krishna. And Maharaj Indradumna wanted a statue of the Lord as he had appeared when he and his brother and sister had traveled on chariot to the holy field of Kurukshetra during the heavenly planets Vishwakarma to sculpture the forms. And Vishwakarma agreed. on the condition that no one interrupt his work. The king waited for a long time while Vishwakarma worked behind locked doors. One day, however, the king felt he could wait no longer, and he broke into to see the work in progress. Vishwakarma, true to his word, vanished, leaving behind the uncompleted form of the three deities. And the king was nevertheless so pleased with the wonderful forms of Krishna, Balaram, and Subhadra that he decided to worship them as they were. He installed them in a temple and began worshipping them with great opulence. So since that time, Srila Prabhupada continued, Lord Jagannath has been worshipped all over India, especially in the province of Orissa, where there is a great temple of Lord Jagannath at Puri. Each year at Puri, during the gigantic Rath Yatra festival, millions of pilgrims from all over the India come to worship Lord Jagannath, Balaram, and Subhadra as the deity ride in a procession on three huge carts. Lord Chaitanya, who spent the last 18 years of his life at Jagannath Puri, used to dance and chant in ecstasy before the deity of Lord Jagannath during the yearly Rath Yatra festival. I think we have Saturday Rath Yatra in Dallas, Texas. Seeing this appearance of Lord Jagannath in San Francisco as the will of Krishna, Prabhupada said that they should be careful to receive and worship Lord Jagannath properly. If Shyam Sundar could carve the forms, Prabhupada said, he would personally install them in the temple and the devotees could then begin worshipping the deities. San Francisco, he said, could be renamed New Jagannath Puri. He chanted, Jagannatham Swami Nayana Patha Gami Bhavantu Me. This is the mantra of our Lord Jagannath. He said, Jagannath means Lord of the universe. O Lord of the universe, kind be visible unto me. It is a very auspicious that he has chosen to appear here. Shyam Sundar brought 3 large blocks of hardwood and Prabhupada made a sketch and pointed out a number of details. Using the small statues, Shyam Sundar calculated ratios and new dimensions and began carving on the balcony of his apartment. You know, it's like artists, they're really expert. When you entered in the Houston temple, in the expansion of the temple, you will see on this sliding door on the top, whole 35 feet long picture of this Sankirtan, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's. I gave him only 2 feet by 3 feet picture to the artist. And then from that picture he elaborated, measuring the dimension and then converting into the proportion from 3 feet to 35 feet, 11 times or whatever. But he did an excellent job, but he was not a devotee. So then I had to call Prabhuji from Dallas to give some details of the devotees, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Nityanand Prabhu, Panchatattva, and like that. So he just made it very nice. So meanwhile, the devotees brought the rest of the tiny Jagannath from Cost Plus, and it became a fashion to glue a little Jagannath to a simple necklace and wear him around the neck. Because Lord Jagannath was very liberal and merciful to the most fallen. Srila Prabhupada explained the devotees would soon be able to worship him in the temple. The worship of the form of Radha and Krishna in the temple required very high, strict standards, which the devotees were not yet able to meet. But Lord Jagannath was so merciful that he could be worshipped in a simple way, mostly by chanting Hare Krishna, even if the devotees weren't very much advanced. So Prabhupada set March 26, the appearance day of Lord Chaitanya, as the day for installing these deities. The devotees would have a big feast and begin worshipping Lord Jagannath. Prabhupada said that they would have to build an altar, and he told them how to prepare it. While Shyamsundar hurried to finish his carving, a small splinter locked itself in his hand, and the wound became infected. Finally, Shyamsundar got blood poisoning and became so sick that he has to go to the hospital. Lord Jagannath was taking away the reactions to Shyamsundar's previous sinful activities, Prabhupada says. Purification is required. On March 26, the appearance day of Lord Chaitanya, Prabhupada said that during the morning they would stay together in the temple, read about Lord Chaitanya and hold kirtan, and in the evening they would have a ceremony for installing Lord Jagannath. Having fasted until moon's rise, they would then break fast with prasadam feast. So when Srila Prabhupada entered the temple that morning, he saw the work the devotees has done. The new altar stood in the near rear of the room, above where his dais has been, and his dais was now on the right side of the room against the wall. From his seat, he would be able to see the altar very easily. The altar was a simple redwood plank 7 feet above the floor and fixed between the two thick redwood pillars. A canopy covered the place where the deities would stand. Below the altar hung Haridas' painting of Lord Chaitanya and his associate dancing during kirtan, and behind the painting was a Madras backdrop. About 3 feet above the floor, a shelf below the painting held candlesticks and would be used for article to be offered to the deities. Prabhupada took his seat as usual. He led kirtan and then chanted 1 round of japa with the devotees. Then he had Hayagripa read aloud from the biographical sketch of Lord Chaitanya from the first volume of Srimad Bhagavatam. But many devotees were sleepy despite Hayagripa's reading loudly with force and eloquence. Although Prabhupada was listening attentively and wanted the others to sit with him and hear about the Lord Chaitanya, when he saw that so many were dozing, he stopped the reading and held another kirtan. Then he again chanted japa with them for about 15 minutes. Okay, we have some time. Good. All right, he said. We will read again. Who will read? Lilavati's hand flew up urgently. All right, he had her sit near his dais, and someone placed a microphone before her. Lilavati's reading presented a contrast to the deep tones of Hayagripa. But she was another scholarly voice. Her careful pronunciation of the Sanskrit words and phrases was pleasing to Srila Prabhupada, and he several times commented, "Oh, very nice." Lilavati was thrilled and read on intensely, determined to keep everyone awake. That evening, devotees and hippie guests filled the room to capacity. Prabhupada was present, and the mood was reverential and festive. It was a special event. The just finished deities sat on the altar, and everyone was glancing at them as they stood on the redwood shrub beneath a yellow canopy. The future illumined by spotlights. The deities wore no clothes or ornaments, but were freshly painted in bright black, red, white, green, yellow, and blue, and they were smiling. Srila Prabhupada was also glancing at them, looking up to their high altar. Prabhupada lectured about the four social and four spiritual order of life described in the Vedic literature. According to one's quality and work, he said, each person has a certain occupational duty. Quote, but the ultimate goal of that duty, unquote, he explained, is to satisfy the Supreme Lord. It doesn't matter if one is low-born or poor. Material qualification has nothing to do with spiritual evolution. Spiritual evolution is that with your talent, with your capacity, with your work, you have to satisfy the Supreme Lord. So we will stop here. We should be punctual in our practices, and as the devotee has to perform some other duties, so before they leave, we would like to offer our humble obeisances at the desk of the wonderful Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis who are taking so much austerity to wake up early in the morning, which is very difficult for so many people. But Krishna is kind to this group to wake us up early and chant the holy name. And His Holiness Hanuman Prasad Swami Maharaj is also very kind to join before 2 o'clock every day without fail and stay until 3:35, 3:40. So it's very nice to be in the presence of those elevated personality to chant the holy name. So if you would like to get little glimpse and taste, you should join before 3:30 at least to get little association. So with those thoughts, we should end our session. If anybody has any question, comment, correction, or chastisement, vanchakalpatarubhasya kripasindubhaya vacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Anybody has any question, comment, corrections, or chastisement? Okay. So I host one of the couple yesterday at my home, and I showed them, I prepared the dinner, what I used to eat, sorted vegetables. And then also one devotee, I met him in Naperville, and he was studying in the Alaska at that time, doing his master's. So somehow or other he visited Houston yesterday. So I also invited to have simple dinner I prepared, as Shyamalabi has to go to the temple for this Sunday feast year-end celebration. So I was unable to come yesterday because we spent, and how the time run by, the day came around 5:40 and we were together until 8:20 p.m. It was very enlivening discussions. serving them prasadam simple. I cooked them in 5 minutes. And I said, this is how I used to eat vegetables sorted only for 2 minutes. And they said, I asked them, would you like to have more cooked? So they said, yes, cook for us little more. So I removed my portion after 2 minutes and I cooked them another 3-4 minutes more, and they said, now it will be. So it was very nice. I forgot to add some more vegetables as the another devotee joined from Alaska. He is now living in Naparwa. And then I regretted that it was like sharing the portions, not unlimited. But they said that you have cooked with so much love and devotion that it satisfied our hunger. That's nice of them. But this is something very unique, and I really relish to spend the intimate time with the devotees. It's given me utmost pleasure that how nicely they imbibe. Like I, receive this text message from the family I visit when I go to the Phoenix. And they have a wonderful, the Jia is 15-year-old and the other one is maybe 5 or 6-year-old. I may be wrong. Rashakida Prabhu is here if he can correct me if I'm wrong. But the Jia, I was telling them that the real life, we have to change 180 degree. So I was telling these two daughters, they love me so much. They feel like, they treat me like a father, and they are very open. And even the parents says that they never talk to us like that, but they are very, very dear to you. So I was telling them that, it's very difficult. But if you really want to be successful and live a happy life, you have to change your sleeping schedule. And I told them that it's not easy. I have tried with many other children, but it's not been yet successful. But at least give a try, because this family is really wonderful. They take their dinner before 6 o'clock. And they have plenty of time to go to the bed, and the parents are also very sincere that they go to the bed at 8 o'clock. So I told Jia, the 15-year-old one, that Jia, why don't you practice this and wake up early in the morning and do the study in the morning? It is so good. And I always tell them, and children are very truthful. This is a quality we should learn. I asked Jia, if you study at night, you must be wasting at least half an hour to an hour chatting with your colleagues, right? She said, yes, Prabhu. We just talk with each other and chat with each other. I said, if you change your time, if you go back to the bed early and wake up early in the morning, then you don't have to worry about any, because everybody, your friend, will be sleeping. So I think that's what the last visit that I made, Phoenix, I requested her that please, and I said, I promised her that if you can do it, Jia, you can become a very successful, and Krishna will fulfill all your desire. So I don't know, yesterday I received a text message. I didn't know, but she said she has been waking up every single day at 4:30 in the morning. She chants the holy name. She does all the study and everything in the morning. And she said, I will read that text message. It's so nice to read. So someone may also get interested. She wrote me, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, this is Jia, because she is writing using her father's phone. Thank you for giving me the instructions to wake up early and do my japa and schoolwork in the morning. Almost every day I have been waking up at 4:30 and it's completely changed everything. I feel much more calm and focused throughout the day. Thank you again for giving me those instructions. Very well. So we can see it has the great impact, and I think if we really want to succeed our children, the parent has to sacrifice. If the parent doesn't go to the bed, how the children will go to the bed? So it's a combined effort of the family is required if he wants to really train our children so nicely that they can live so happily and peacefully. Just look at this girl. And I wish that she will continue, and I think that it will be tested when she will go to the college that she continue or not. But I pray that may Krishna and Radharani and all our acharyas in our disciplic succession bless her. So at least we have one example in our society, the great example that we have to live differently than the worldly people are living if he wants to make a drastic change in our life. So I'm so happy that at least one student has taken up seriously, and just pray. I request everyone to pray for Jia that she can continue her determination to go forward with this. And it's so powerful. The body needs the rest. They go to the school during the day, come back having a dinner, and again they start. And on the final years, I have seen that student will work until 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock. That is totally not good. But if they take a break and give the rest to the body and mind, they can achieve much more in shorter time. But it needs courage, support, and encouragement from the parents and the well-wisher to embark on that journey. So I'm just sharing with you that maybe if you have the children at that age, when you start with the early age, they can mold. But if you wait, I have experienced some of the members whose children are more than 18, 20-year-old. They tell, Shyamchandra Prabhu, could you come and talk to our children? I said, it's too late. You didn't utilize the proper time when they were young. They have no separate agenda. They will do what you do. So you didn't take the time to give them the essence of their life. Now, nothing you can change them. They have already make up their mind. So whoever has yet still the young children, please think about seriously. This is the best gift ever you can give to your children. But we have to be convinced first. Then it will go. So I'm really happy to Anand Bhakti Mataji and Anand Radhika Mataji and Rashakida Prabhu for their dedication in training the children nicely. The younger one, Devanshi, is also very intelligent girl, both of them. So see that she may also follow in the footsteps of her elder sister and perfect their life. Very good. So let's end our session. Offer the humble obeisances. Vancha kalpatarubhasya. Kripa sindhu bhaivacha. Patitanam pavanebhyo. Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.